Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for organizing and hosting this webinar. We're so excited about it. And so today I thought that we would use our time to go through a couple things. First of all, an introduction on how we got to this webinar and our partnership with WiLS. I'm with Gale. I'm Courtney with Gale. I should probably start with that. And then after the introduction, I will go over our mental health and wellness resources, which is what this webinar is about, and a little bit of a background on that with Gale. And then I will, for all of us visual people, I'll go in and demonstrate what it looks like so you can see it in action. And then at the end, I will end with some package and support options that we have through WiLS and a very exciting special WiLS members promotion. So you have to wait to the end for that though. Okay, so to start out as our introduction, I just wanted to let you know that we have actually 2 Gale reps in the Wisconsin area. So it might be confusing if you're like, I work with Stephen. So I'm Courtney and we cover different counties, and Stephen Wilson also covers different counties in Wisconsin. So just to preface with that. But we both work together. So if you accidentally reach out to one of us, we'll get it to the right person right away. So no problem there. So we have had a partnership with WiLS for many, many years. This goes back, and we're so lucky to be one of your vendor partners, and just feel like it's such a great way to connect with all of the Wisconsin educators in such an impactful way. So thank you so much, Sarah. We're so excited to continue our partnership, and we just want to make sure to preface it with how grateful we are for it. So this webinar started really it stemmed from the WIMTA conference that we went to. Both WiLS was there and Gale, we had a table there as well. And the WIMTA conference was in Wausau about a month ago. And I had a Gale table there. I had a lot of educators and media specialists walk through and have conversations. A lot of the conversations stemmed around mental health and wellness resources. I had a sheet there and a lot of people were asking about it. And then I also had this little card that, check the box on what you would like more information on. And I would say like 99% checked the box of mental health and wellness resources. And so when I connected with Sarah at WIMTA, and then afterwards we connected again, I was just like, okay, this is a reminder that this is such an important topic. We work with Gale or WiLS, and let's see if we can put together some packages to offer some more resources for this important area. And so that's what we did. So now we are so excited that we are going to be able to offer some of our mental health and wellness packages through WiLS. And so I wanted to take some time to go through on what those look like and how you can use them in your schools. Okay, so to start out, sort of a level set, we have some data and statistics on this slide. If you are out there working with the students every day in schools, you are not going to be surprised by any of these statistics, but I just wanted to say like kind of a background as to how this all got started. 1 out of every 5 teens suffers from mental illness. We see this, and actually this stat is pre-pandemic. So we realize that we're getting even more and more into these necessary resources. I also added a section on the right here that recently, or I guess not recently, 2022 came out from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. And they did their own survey with Wisconsin students. And some of the highlights that I pulled, you can read the article on their website, but some of the highlights I pulled out of there were that they surveyed students, and more than half of the students surveyed said that they reported significant problems with anxiety. So, okay, we have a lot of mental health challenges that we are dealing with every day in the schools, that you all are dealing with every day in the schools. We have also seen that a lot of these mental health issues are popping up earlier and earlier. Anxiety disorders show up by age 6, is what we're hearing. The median age for ADHD and behavior disorders is age 11. The median age for substance abuse disorders is age 15. We also know that the sooner that individuals can get help, the more likely they will to have a positive outcome. And that's easier said than done, because you don't exactly have students raising their hand saying, I need some information on substance abuse, I need some information on anxiety. A lot of you notice a lot of the silently struggling students, and there's also the stigma out there. So what Gale is really trying to help with is to help get these resources into students' hands in a very accessible and easy way. We also know that professional help is not easily accessible to every student. So this is a way that we have partnered with our foundation to help get these resources into schools, just so that they can have these resources accessible. And so that is what led us to our partnership with the Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation. And a background on them. We've had a partnership with them since 2017, so they've been going for a while. And this is how it started. It started with Cameron. This is Cameron. You can meet Cameron on this page with her cute pictures. She was one of 5 kids in her family. She, as you can see, looks like a very vibrant and healthy girl, and she was struggling with depression and anxiety and extreme sadness. At home, she was lucky enough to have the support of her family, and they got her some professional help. They got her on a road to recovery, and she was feeling better. And she turned this into a passion of hers, because through her journey, she realized that not everyone is able to get help, and there's the stigma. It's not talked about enough. And so she is a very passionate, really cares about other people. So she said, I want to start a 5K. So her family helped her, and they started the Speak Up 5K, and she ran it. And it's so cute. They have we still do it every year, and they have like little sheets along the way that says like, you're doing great. You know, it's okay if you feel sad. It's all about like raising awareness and raising money for helping teens who are struggling with mental health challenges. So that gives you a little bit of a background. Now, when she was 16 years old, she sadly and suddenly passed away from a heart condition that she was undiagnosed, and so she died of a cardiac arrhythmia. So her family decided to continue her legacy, and that's when they created this foundation. And really their mission is to continue her work, continue her legacy, and also as a reminder that families are not alone, as families are dealing with this as well. Their foundation is just fantastic. They have all these programs. They're inside lots of schools. They have this race that they do every year. So they have race teams, and it's really exciting to be a part of that. And so what we've done as Gale, we've partnered with their foundation, and in Cameron's name, we created collections with all these different mental health and wellness resources available for students and to go inside schools. So that is sort of a background in a nutshell of how this all came to be. We at Gale don't claim to be the mental health and professionals, but we have what we do best is our platform with our digital eBooks and just amazing accessibility tools. And what the foundation does is they have, the professional therapists, professional psychologists on staff. They're in the schools, and they're the ones that are giving us that really important content to put on our platform. So we kind of have the best of both worlds in our partnership, if that makes sense. So we have these 2 collections, and we have one of them, and these are the 2, we have created 2 collections through WiLS that we're going to be able to offer as a package, as a really great starter kit. And the first one is called Cameron's Collection, and it's geared towards middle and high school students. And then the other one is called Cameron's Camp for Wellness, which is geared towards elementary students. And we have really a wide variety of topics in each of these best-selling collections. We go from, for the high school and middle school, we have stress, anxiety, depression, LGBTQ, suicide, and we also have yoga, mindfulness, healthy eating, activism, things like that in that collection. And then in the elementary collection, we talk about topics like friendship, courage, different emotions, art therapy, and, kind of more geared towards the younger age. And then the other thing to point out before we go into it is these collections are meant to get into the hands of students. They're also really helpful for parents and teachers as well. And really kind of, they start from the media center, which we all know is the hub of the school, and then it really can branch out into more of the classrooms as well, which is really, really helpful. And then just as a quick note, we do have professional development collections that align with the Cameron's collections. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not going to go into that too much, but we do have PD collections as well that are specific to the educators. Okay, and as another quick reminder before going in case a lot of you are familiar, but in case you're not, our ebook platform is unique in a couple different ways. And one is that when you purchase ebooks or a collection of them, you own the content forever, and it's a one-time purchase. So there are not any subscriptions or any like class sets or like checking out of books or anything like that. You own the content forever, and then it's simultaneous, unlimited use, 24/7. And so students can be in the same book at the same time all at once, if that makes sense. And then another important with this type of a collection with the mental health and wellness is it can also be set up so that there doesn't need to be a login or a password. And so it's set up with anonymous access, which we can help with that as well. So that just gives you a little bit of a background on that part of it. But I want to quickly go into the collection just so you can see what it looks like. And okay, so, and then Sarah, you're still there. Are you able to see that I'm in the collection now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is our platform. Again, a lot of you are probably familiar with this. It has a similar feel to our in-context databases as well. But this is what our ebook platform looks like. And over here, you can create this, customize these bookshelves or these different topics if you want to organize the ebooks a certain way. I'm going to go into these first two, and the first is this collection that we are talking about, and the first is the Cameron's collection for the high school, middle school students. And so you can see what it looks like. You get your library with all the different ebooks. You see the covers. You can look at it this way and go into a book and read it like it's a book. That's one way to do it. And I just want to kind of scroll through. You can see the different types of topics and all the different books that we have. We've added a couple different ones on this new one, and it's such a great mix of topics. But I would say that the most common way for students or teachers, librarians, to access this platform is by using the search tool. And so it's going to be very similar to Google, which is, this is kind of the point. We want students, instead of going to Google for this type of content, we want them coming to this safe environment that you've curated. And so you know what types of resources are there for them. So they can go into Google. If I'm a student and I want some extra information on depression, then you can just type that in and search it, and it's going to pull up all of the different pages and chapters that have to do with depression from the entire library that you have, your digital collection. And so I can go in and I can maybe narrow down by the subject, or I can just kind of glance through and see what is I want to click on, and then I'm just going to click on one of them, treating depression. You can see that the content is really has a lot of pictures and really geared towards resources for how to get help. They're talking about like some examples of different kids their age, teenagers, and just has really, really great resources when you click on it. And you can always go back and kind of play around and sift through. Now, while I'm here, I just wanted to go through some of these really awesome accessibility tools that are going to be really useful for your students. The first one is the translate, and we have lots of different language that you can translate this text to. I know in Wisconsin, we have a lot of like the Ukrainian, so we have Ukrainian now. We also have added Hmong and Somali recently. And then I know that some of the Wisconsin areas were looking at Pashto, so I just wanted to point some of those out. So definitely keep that in mind. You can also decrease and increase the font. And then I wanted to point out this display option. We have recently added this open dyslexic font, which is really helpful. Research shows that this font helps students with dyslexia read better. So you can see that it has changed the font on this entire text. And then you also can change the background color. You can change like the letters and the spacing, all of that is available. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is our audio. You can listen to these pages as well. And also a few of the languages are available via audio. There are multiple settings on that as well. So just a couple of these resources to point out that are available. And then the other way that you can do it is you can, go into a book. Here I am at the book level, and I can sift through and look at some of the table of contents and get information that way, like I am like reading a book. If I go in, again, I want to just point out that we have a lot of tools to show how to get help, what to do next. Here's something about social media. We have different links to showing where you might report some really dangerous behavior, things like that. So I wanted to point that out. Okay, so that was a little bit on the high school, middle school collection. And here is the Cameron's Camp for Wellness, which I just love these book covers because they're just so bright and colorful. We have a lot of these literature characters that we pulled in to help talk about some of these heavier topics. And this is a great example if I'm a teacher and a lot of times we have some of these issues pop up throughout the year and the teacher wants to address some of these sensitive topics as a class. And so they can use this collection, can go into a book. Maybe they want to use a book to facilitate some discussion. They can pull it up on their smart board. And I just wanted to show the actual e-reader. This is the full book. You can also read it this way. So you can look at it as the text view, or you can look at it as a book view. So that's just an example of that. Okay, perfect. So let's see, was that everything I wanted? Oh yeah, and then the other thing just to keep in mind is that you can, again, you're all going to be familiar with this if you, let's see if I can get out of my book view. You're going to be familiar with this if you have used our products before, but you can send this to your Google Drive. You can highlight and take notes. You can send, so this is really nice if you're a teacher or a media specialist and you want to send some resource information to a parent, or you are in the library and you want to send it to the teacher, you can do that right through here as well. Google Classroom and everything. So keep that all in mind. Okay, so that is digging into the resources, little quick demo for you. I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. And
Courtney, do you want to pause for just one second, see if anybody has any questions on what was shared? Just because we're sort of at the midway point. Does anybody have any questions on what Courtney just shared in terms of the titles? Just checking the chat.
Oh, you are able to see the chat, Sarah? Okay, that's good. I was wondering about that too.
And I'm not seeing anything come through, so I will go ahead and turn it back over to you.
Okay, sounds good. And yes, if anyone wants to jump in and ask a question, please feel free. I wasn't sure how that worked with the webinars. But yes, absolutely, please stop me. and ask any questions. So thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to share is we have different schools using these collections already. And so I wanted to share a couple of ways that they use them. And there's a teacher, or I'm sorry, media specialist actually that has purchased the middle school collection, high school collection for her high school. And she's created these little cards, and she put on there, I don't know if you can see it, but she says like, it's okay to have bad days, to not feel your best. You're not alone. Are you not ready to talk to a live person yet? Just want more information. And then she has a QR code there so students can sort of like discreetly, or, you know, out in the open or whatever they want, they can take a picture of the QR code and have the resources on their phone. And so I just thought that was a really cool idea. And so again, you can set it up and we can help with this. You can set it up so that it's a direct access to the resources without logging in. Because you don't want to have a student sitting there thinking, if I log in, someone's going to know that it's me that was looking for this information. So it makes it very private. And that's really important to point out. And then she also took these little cards and went to a staff meeting and introduced the collection there, and then gave a lot of these cards to teachers so they could have it in their classrooms. She also worked with the counseling departments, and they have these cards in that department, in the office, and just lots of different places. You can make posters and hang them in the bathrooms and places like that as well. So we have a lot of those templates ready, and we are ready to help with that. And then also, we always encourage to share these resources, again, getting them in the hands of the parents through social media, through counselors and coaches, administrators, and PTA meetings is also a fun idea too. So those are some ideas of how different schools have used these and really gotten the word out, because that's part of it too. It was like sharing these resources. Okay, and then now we are at the point of sharing the different packages. So the two packages, or the two collections that I just showed you, the middle school, high school, and then the elementary, we've created these with our foundation. We take all of our publishers, all of our imprints, any of these topics that might be considered mental health and wellness, and we partner with the foundation, and they help us create these packages. And so they have just done that recently. They are the experts in that. So we are really grateful for their help with that. Again, they're out in the schools now, so they're bringing a lot of these current challenges to the surface for us so that we can really have the experts weighing in. So yeah, so we have these two packages that we can now purchase through WiLS, and they are both about $2,700. And then, but the other thing I want to say is, we can really create a collection to fit any budget. So if you have a certain amount of money that you're working with, and it's $500 or it's $1,000 or it's all the way up to, you know, $3,000, whatever, we can work with your budget and put a collection together that has either specific topics or just some of our best sellers, a nice little mix of different topics, and we can help create that for you. And then the offer, if any of you are able to confirm a purchase by the end of the month, by the end of March, we are going to throw in for free the Gale Encyclopedia of Mental Health. And that is $724 value. So that's very exciting. I know some of you have spring break coming up, but if you can get these decisions done quickly, and these packages are all pre-made for you, so we made it easy. Okay, so that brings me to my last slide, which is just, again, another reminder of our contact information with Stephen and myself. And actually, I think you're going to see Stephen on Taco Tuesday next month. So he is excited about that. And then I wanted to point out the customer success manager. His name is Jimmy Mai. A lot of you have probably already worked with him and you know how awesome he is. He is the person that can help with any of the like training or the URLs, the QR codes, so things like that. He's your personal trainer for the Wisconsin area, and he's fantastic. He used to be a librarian, so he speaks the language and loves working with all of you. And so that kind of covers everything, right? Unless you can think of anything else, Sarah, or anyone else that wants to chime in.
Thank you, Courtney. So just one clarification question. Is it best for, oh, sorry, I should turn on my camera. Is it best for people to reach out directly to you for Cameron's collection, or can they use the co-op quote form? Can they do either? You know, the normal course of action for WiLS members is to fill out the quote request form that I'll throw in the chat in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, good question.
However, because this is a unique one-time purchase, I'm thinking that however people get to you is fine, especially if they have questions about the different package types.
Right.
And we'll
Yes, exactly.
get the information, because you and I have been working together. I mean, we talk weekly, if not daily, during this period.
Exactly. Yeah, I would totally agree with you that, you know, really you can do either. And we have, like, Sarah and the WiLS team has all of the package information. So if you know, I just want that package, you can easily do that through your WiLS quote request. But if you want us to create a customized collection, then I would work through me definitely for that. And then we can work with that. So really either one, but, you know, feel free to reach out to either side if that makes sense. And then if you want to see the collection yourself and kind of play around with it a little bit, I'd be happy to provide a trial. And we do have a couple trials that are open to a lot of, you might already have one. We have a couple trials that have been available for anyone to look at. So I would be happy to send you that link if any of you don't have that.
And one other question, Courtney. So after the initial purchase, is it a $50 access fee annually?
Fee? Yes. Yeah, good point. If you already have eBooks through Gale, you already pay a hosting fee. That's a good point. We do charge a hosting fee to sort of like host our platform on your side. So that's $50 per year by district. So a lot of you already have that kind of taken care of, but if you don't, we'd be happy to work with your district business person to get that set up. But that's a good point. I kind of forgot about that.
Oh, no problem. So it's only one $50 fee if regardless of how many ebooks they have.
Right.
Anybody has. They could have 1,000, they could have 2 from different collections. It's just a one-time annual fee. And that can either be, we have members that are either prefer to go directly through Gale for the perpetual access fee, or through WiLS. When you set up the purchase, we will ask you what you prefer.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Any questions for Courtney?
Maybe I can stop sharing too, if that helps. But
Well, and what we'll do is we'll send out another email with a follow-up. We'll have a link to this recording. The recording to the webinar, and then we'll send out the offer information to everyone a couple times throughout, because you said that it was, I don't know why I'm looking at my watch as if it's on my watch, but you said by the end of March, in order to get the additional title, the mental health title. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
so yeah, exactly. So if you can, and really it's, you know, as simple as just click the confirm, and then we'll be like, okay, you get the free book.
Yes, and we already have a subscription that we processed last week. So that's
No,
wonderful.
that was exciting. We used like a guinea pig to sort of make sure the process was
Yeah.
in place. So it was pretty smooth.
Yep, it was very smooth. It was very smooth.
Yeah, so I know. Well, again, Sarah, I just want to thank you so much for being open to all of our ideas that we pulled together.
Absolutely. I'm very excited about this collection.
I am too.
And I do think that as people get to explore it and questions come up, Courtney's very accessible. Everybody, we're thrilled to have her on the Gale team. And like I said, WiLS can do pretty much anything that you need in terms of billing. If you want to, I know a lot of people have extra common school fund money this year that you all are trying to encumber. You can either do that now, or we can also delay billing, pay Gale on your behalf. There are all sorts of things that we can do, especially if you want to get that order in by the end of March, but you don't think that you can get the requisition paperwork done on time. Don't worry about it. Talk to us. We can make things happen. So a lot of flexibility on Gale's and WiLS part.
Yeah, that's so nice
Okay.
of you to offer that too. Awesome.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. And again, please reach out to Courtney or myself. I did share the WiLS cooperative purchasing quote requests in the chat. Feel free to use that to request pricing and any other information associated with Cameron's collection.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Courtney.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really
Thanks,
good to see you.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.